It's really great to be here. Iceland is one of my favorite countries, and it's great to be back here. I am really impressed by the program of this conference. This is an important arena, both scientifically and politically. The Arctic is characterized by three important things. And the first thing is international cooperation. The second thing is stability. And the third thing is cold weather. The goal of Norway's Arctic policy is to make sure that it stays this way. We cooperate closely with all of our neighbors in the north. And the key institutions in this cooperation are the Arctic Council and the Barents Cooperation. The Arctic Council is the only forum where the Arctic states cooperate on shared challenges. This is important because we cannot deal with the regional challenges individually. International cooperation is essential for development in the region. And Norway intends to play a major role in defining the future direction of the Arctic. Let me give you a couple of examples on this. One of our priorities right now is the Working Group on Emergency Prevention, Preparedness and Response, known as the EPPR. Another important priority is the Task Force on Improved Connectivity in the Arctic. This year, Norway also contributed to establish the Arctic Ship Traffic Database. And this database will definitely provide new and valuable knowledge. There are new challenges ahead, and I am glad that the Arctic states have shown that they can establish legally binding agreements. On the initiative of the Arctic Council, the Arctic states have negotiated several important agreements, like for instance on scientific cooperation, search and rescue, and also on oil spill preparedness and response. The Arctic is important for us in many ways. 10% of Norway's population live north of the Arctic Circle. That's 500,000 people. Northern Norway has lots of natural resources and huge business opportunities. And I believe that the Arctic will be even more important in the future than it is today. Last year, Norway exported 2.6 million tons of seafood. That equals 36 million meals of fish every single day. And that's a lot for a country with only 5 million people. However, there is still great potential for growth, especially in the north. There are also new industries appearing, like marine bioprospecting and also deep sea mining. Let me also mention that half of Norway's estimated undiscovered oil and gas are in the Barents Sea. Renewable energy is another sector with great potential for growth, and the same applies to tourism. Transportation is a cornerstone of the economy. We need roads, railroads, and harbors to export and to participate in the global economy. That is why Norway last year presented our largest national transportation plan ever, and it had a price tag of more than 1,000 billion Norwegian kroner. A substantial part of this will be spent on reducing distances between Norway and our main export markets. The Barents Cooperation is a success story with many elements. And this cooperation also helps us plan infrastructure investments. Let me give you an example. Together with our Russian colleagues, we agreed to improve the road between Murmansk in Russia and Kirkenes in Norway. Both countries followed up on their part of the agreement. In September last year, we had inauguration ceremonies for the last sections of this road on both sides of the border. And I think everyone using this road will be impressed by the good standard and the scenic views. New technology will help us solve challenges we face in our sector, like reducing greenhouse gas emissions and improving mobility and safety. The E8 road from Skibotn to Kilpisjärvi, connecting northern Norway and Finland, is one of 5 road sections selected as pilots to develop and test ITS solutions in Norway. This road was chosen because it has huge importance for transportation of fish. It is a road with demanding winter conditions, and the first test with platooning took place last May. This road is very far from sunny California, where much of the development of autonomous vehicles is taking place. And if we can make these autonomous systems work in the Arctic, then they will work probably everywhere else as well. There is increased maritime activity in the Arctic, in particular traffic related to fishing, petroleum, and cruise tourism. Approximately 80% of all maritime traffic in the Arctic passes through or are taking place within Norwegian waters. We expect this development to continue. We have the overall responsibility to improve the safety of maritime transport and prevent accidents along the Norwegian coast. And we are working on several different measures. One of these measures is traffic separation that moves maritime traffic further away from the coast. Norway has also developed comprehensive monitoring and information system for our sea areas called Barents Watch. This system collects, links, and shares information, improving maritime situational awareness. One of the services is wave forecasting, and the forecast is updated every 4 hours and is very useful for maritime transportation. You should check out their website. It's awesome. We have also seen substantial improvements in monitoring and surveillance systems over the last years. To Norway, the Norwegian Ais Satellites is maybe most important. The satellites detect AIS signals from ships and have dramatically improved our oversight over maritime activity in the Arctic. Improved maritime situational awareness is useful for several reasons. For instance, in order to prevent maritime accident and to respond to acute pollution, and also search and rescue operations. Norway is also the first state globally to implement maritime broadband radio, MBR, on ships and aircraft for use in emergency response situations. The MBR network makes it possible to share data between users without an internet connection. And these MBRs will enable significantly better exchange of information between units engaged in a response unit. There is great interest for maritime transportation between Asia and Europe through the Northeast Passage. And the reason for this is very simple. It is 40% shorter to drive a ship from London to Japan through the Northeast Passage than through the Suez Canal. The distance between the Norwegian city of Kirkenes and the Bering Strait is actually just as short as the distance from Kirkenes to the Mediterranean by ship. So we are following the development in the Northeast Passage with great interest. Let me repeat that I'm very pleased to be here. There are great opportunities in the Arctic, both for businesses and also politically. We need to find a good balance between use and protection, and I think that's the main thing here. Thank you.